Daniel Mercer sat in his car, engine running, hands still, staring at a piece of paper he had read 4 times already. A funeral invitation. Black paper. Black ink. Elena Mercer. Beloved wife, mother and friend. Funeral service. Saturday, 2 p.m. He would have cried if it weren't for the last line. The family requests the presence of both loving husbands. Daniel read it again. Then again. His wife was dead. And apparently he wasn't her only husband. Daniel Mercer had lived the kind of life people envied. A luxury apartment in Chicago. A successful investment company. Tailored suits. Business class flights. And Elena. Beautiful. Calm. Intelligent. The kind of woman who remembered birthdays. Who made coffee exactly the way he liked it. Who kissed him goodbye every single morning like she truly, deeply meant it. They had been married for 7 years. No children yet. Elena always said she wanted to wait until life slowed down. Daniel believed her. He believed everything she said. Every month, Elena traveled for what she called art consulting work. Milwaukee usually. 3 or 4 days at a time. Daniel never questioned it. She always came back with gifts. With stories. With hotel receipts and exhausted smiles. Until Thursday night. That's when the invitation arrived. No return address. No explanation. Just black paper, black ink. And a truth that detonated his entire world. Saturday came like a nightmare. The funeral chapel sat on the outskirts of Milwaukee, surrounded by dead trees and gray skies. Daniel almost turned back 3 times. But anger pushed him forward. Inside, strangers whispered quietly. At the front, Elena's photograph. The same smile. The same green eyes. The same woman who had slept beside him just 6 nights ago. Daniel approached the casket slowly. Then a hand touched his shoulder. You must be Daniel. He turned. The man standing there was around his age. Tall. Dark-haired. Wedding ring on his finger. His eyes were swollen from crying. I'm Michael, the man said softly. A pause. I was Elena's husband. Daniel stared at him. No, he whispered. I'm her husband. The silence between them became unbearable. Michael's face drained of color. First, they both thought it was a mistake. A misunderstanding. Maybe she had divorced one of them. Maybe there was a separation. Maybe there was some explanation that would make this make sense. Then Michael pulled out his phone. Wedding photos. Elena in a white dress. Standing beside him. Date. 4 years ago. Daniel's knees nearly buckled. Because he also had wedding photos. Taken 6 years ago. This wasn't an affair. This wasn't cheating. Elena had lived 2 complete lives. They left the funeral together. Neither trusted the other. But both needed answers. Michael drove them to his home in Milwaukee. The moment Daniel stepped inside, his blood froze. Photos of Elena covered the walls. Vacation pictures. Birthday parties. Christmas mornings. And then Daniel saw something that shook him to his core. A little girl's drawing taped to the refrigerator. Crayon letters. Wobbly and proud. Mommy and Daddy. You have a child? Daniel asked slowly. Michael nodded. Sophie. She's 6. Daniel felt physically sick. Elena had told him for years that she couldn't have children. But here was proof. A whole family. Another life. Michael poured whiskey with shaking hands. When did you meet her? Daniel asked. 2018. Daniel closed his eyes. That meant Elena had already been married to him for 2 full years when she met Michael. She said she traveled to Chicago for antique auctions, Michael said. Daniel laughed. A short, hollow sound. She told me Milwaukee was business consulting. Neither man spoke for a long moment. Then Michael said something terrifying. She kept 2 phones. One for me. One she guarded carefully. Did you ever check it? No. Daniel swallowed hard. Neither did I. Because trust had blinded both of them. 3 days after the funeral, Daniel received another envelope. No sender. Inside, a storage unit key. Unit 214. Both men drove there together. The facility owner recognized Elena immediately. She came every month, he said. Inside Unit 214, their world collapsed again. It looked like the archive of a spy. 2 wardrobes. 2 sets of identification. 2 passports. Stacks of carefully organized documents. One identity, Elena Mercer. Another, Elena Hart. Calendars color-coded by city. Flight itineraries. Anniversaries. Birthdays. Carefully organized lies. Then Daniel found a journal. Michael opened it with trembling hands. Inside, Elena had written everything. Not like a criminal. More like a confession. March 12. I love them both differently. Daniel gives me stability. Michael gives me warmth. Leaving either feels impossible. June 7th. Sometimes I wake up and forget which life I'm in. October 21st. I know this will destroy them one day, but I keep pretending I can hold both worlds together. Michael slammed the journal shut. She manipulated us. But Daniel wasn't listening, because at the bottom of the box was a medical file. Stage 4 brain cancer. Diagnosed 11 months earlier. Elena had known she was dying, and she never told either of them. At the very back of the storage unit sat a laptop. Password protected. Taped beneath it, a note. For Daniel and Michael. Michael opened the laptop with shaking hands. One video file. Recorded 2 weeks before Elena died. They pressed play. Elena appeared on screen, gray sweater, no makeup. Weak. Tired. Dying. She looked directly into the camera. If you're watching this, I'm gone. Daniel's throat tightened. I know you hate me. You should. Tears filled Michael's eyes instantly. I never planned this. At first, I thought I could leave one life before starting another. But then, I fell in love twice. Daniel looked away. I know that sounds selfish. Maybe it is. Elena coughed hard before continuing. Daniel, you gave me safety after my father died. You helped me believe life could be stable. She smiled sadly. Michael, you gave me joy. You made me laugh again. Then came the words neither man expected. I wanted to choose. Hundreds of times I wanted to choose. But every time I imagined hurting one of you, I couldn't do it. Michael whispered through clenched teeth. So you hurt both. On screen, Elena wiped her tears. When I learned I was dying, I became a coward. I thought maybe if I disappeared, neither of you would ever know. A long silence. But lies always rot. Then she reached off screen and pulled out a photograph. 2 separate pictures of her husbands that she had secretly kept together. I loved you both. Truly. Daniel's jaw tightened. He didn't know whether to scream or cry. Then Elena spoke her final words. There's one more thing you deserve to know. She inhaled slowly. Sophie isn't Michael's daughter. Michael froze. She's yours, Daniel. Everything stopped. Michael staggered backward. Elena's voice continued, quiet and breaking. When Sophie was born, I panicked. Daniel wanted children. Michael wanted a family. I chose the easier lie. You are her biological father. Michael staggered backward like he'd been shot. The video ended. Silence swallowed the room. 2 husbands. 1 dead wife. And 1 child caught inside 20 years of lies. 4 weeks, Daniel and Michael hated each other. Not because either had done wrong, but because each man represented everything Elena had hidden. DNA tests confirmed it. Sophie was Daniel's daughter. Michael stopped answering calls. Daniel didn't know how to approach a child who believed another man was her father. Then one evening, Michael knocked on Daniel's hotel door. He looked exhausted. I tucked her into bed tonight, Michael said quietly. Daniel said nothing. Michael stared at the floor. She asked if I was still her dad. And Michael's eyes filled with tears. I told her yes. That was the moment everything changed. Because despite the lies, Michael had raised her, loved her, protected her. Biology couldn't erase 6 years of bedtime stories, and scraped knees and school recitals. Daniel sat down slowly. So what now? Michael looked at him. We stopped punishing her for Elena's mistakes. 1 year later, Sophie had 2 fathers. Not through deception, through choice. Daniel moved closer to Milwaukee. Michael and Daniel were never exactly friends, but grief had created a strange bond between them. Sometimes they even laughed about Elena's impossible double life. How did neither of us notice? Daniel once asked. Michael smiled sadly. Because we loved her. And love sometimes is the easiest thing to blind. On Elena's birthday, The three of them visited her grave together. Sophie placed flowers down carefully, then looked up and asked, "Did Mommy love both of you?" Daniel and Michael exchanged a long glance. Finally, Michael answered, "Yes." Daniel nodded. She did. And for the first time since the funeral, neither of them felt angry anymore, only sad, because the woman who had destroyed both their lives had also been the woman they loved most. You never truly know someone until the secrets survive them.